everybody, welcome back to Mindset Matters, episode 6 in 6 weeks, you very lucky people. I am very happy to have joined me on the sofa, Jo Watson. Hi, Jo.
Hello, Mike. Thank you for inviting me into your home.
You're welcome.
Today.
Well, first of all, thank you for this. What are these? Let's start with these. She's already given me some merchandise. Jo has her own merchandise. Check this out.
I do. Well, I'm hoping I'm not infringing on any copyright with it when I say it's my own. I went to the lovely people at M&M's, but other chocolate providers are available.
They are.
And you can just do little promotional gifts.
Good.
And I thought I've got a really nice established base of clients at the moment, and I appreciate we're friends rather than clients of each other's.
So you give me some sweets.
I wanted to include you in this. Yeah, so each of the little M&Ms have got my logo on for a good
My
write-up.
type of client.
And yeah, a little message saying my type of client, because I do love a good pun.
And you gave these to me and you appreciate it because I actually said, I'm not going to eat them because they're so special. And you said, most people go, oh, thanks, Jo.
Exactly.
And they snaffle them straight away.
Oh, they just absolutely knock them back. They really do. But so please appreciate them. Yeah, I want to visit in years to come and still see them.
They'll still be
on
there.
Place. Yeah.
Right, so we've been chatting and we could have filmed everything we said off camera because it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
But you've got a successful business now as a writer.
Yes.
You do ghostwriting, you do copywriting, you've got your own business. But you also said to me that you worked as a teacher.
Yes.
And you also worked in education and like writing and education. So can you tell us a little bit about your story, kind of, where you started from, how you got to where you are now?
Well, I did an English degree because I enjoyed English, and I'll be honest, I thought it'd be easy. Looking back, I think I would have studied in something completely different, but I did take somewhat of an easy way out. I was studying language and literature, and I loved reading, and so I thought the literature would be my favourite part. I hated it.
Really?
Just with the university that I went to, I don't think any of the texts we studied were written in any of the last 3 centuries, really. Yeah. So I hated it, dropped it after the first year, carried on with language.
Right.
And it is a fantastic degree, I think it's worth a hell of a lot. But it was very, very easy to me because I was a big reader, big writer, and had a love of language. So it just seemed to be then that when I graduated, the logical step might be to go into teaching. But rather than do the secondary route, I was very much like your good self. I went into primary. Yep. Loved working with the kids, but as many teachers will tell you, some that you'll probably have on your show, it's not about the kids anymore. It's about bureaucracy and politics and what's going on outside of the classroom. So I came away from it. I stayed in education, but it was in alternative education. I actually went to Blackburn Rovers Football Club back when they were in the Premier League.
I remember the days of Alan
glory
Shearer.
Days,
Went
glory days.
Yeah.
Well, sadly it wasn't quite that era of when they were at the peak of everything they were doing, but they were still doing well in the Premier League. I'd heard of them, which was a bonus considering I hated football. Right. I remember saying that at my interview.
I don't like football, but I wouldn't mind working with you guys.
Exactly, yeah, because they wanted a teacher. They wanted someone to work a little bit with the academy, with the players, but mainly out in the community, which was a big draw for me. And when they say to you at the end of an interview, do you have any questions? My question was, I know nothing about football, will that be a problem? And they were fine about it. They were like, you'll pick it up. I think I was there for about 7 or 8 years. I picked up some, I think. My husband was a massive Blackburn Rovers fan, as it turned out, so he was delighted with the free season tickets that staff members got. So he'd use Saturdays to teach me a little bit about what was going on. Yeah. I just had no interest in it, really, but loved the job. I then went to work for a registered training provider. I was the head of education and partnerships there, and I just loved education so much and what it can do, what it can bring. But ultimately I was kind of working away in the background on my own passion, which was writing. And it had started very early on where I was just doing CVs for people, where people would say, you're good with spelling and grammar and everything like that, and making things sound good, will you write my CV? Right. And I was doing it, and it got to a point where I thought I should charge for this. And then I was charging for things, and but then I thought, no, I don't really want to write people's CVs. I want to write meaningful things. So I established myself as a copywriter, which basically means just anything that a business or an individual or an organisation might need through the written word, whatever they might want to put out there. And I just loved it, but I thought, I'm not really one of those people who can say, right, I'm going to quit my job and just do this full time. I needed to establish a portfolio and a client
That's
base.
sensible.
So I think so. And it was difficult because it meant I had a full-time job, quite a high-pressured one as well. I had a cat and a dog to look after, which is not easy.
It's a massive commitment
time.
having a
massive
dog.
commitment. Husky.
Cats kind of
as
do
well.
their own thing, but dogs,
And
they need a bit of love.
Barry the cat, yes, he is called Barry.
Barry the cat.
No, he's very needy.
Oh, is he a needy cat?
He's very needy.
Okay.
He draws a lot from you. So it's like a little kind of an emotional sponge, really. But he's
Bit of an
gorgeous. He
anxious
gives
cat.
back. Yeah, he gives back as well. But we got a rescue husky.
Oh.
And she needs a lot of attention. Within 20 minutes of getting her back from the shelter, she got her head stuck in the fence. I sat on the floor, rocking backwards and forwards, head in hands, just wondering what the hell we'd done.
You've almost got a sketch show there.
I think so. I think
One woman and
so.
two animals.
It was just horrendous. I thought, what have we done?
Yeah.
But I had all this going on, so building a business was very much in the background.
It's all part of life, isn't it? It's not just like, this is my job, it all comes together, doesn't
it's
it?
all together, and I loved it. So even though I was going home at night and kind of doing writing for clients, and it was late into the evening, it was worth it because I knew one day this is where I'll be. And then it was December 2016. I'd quit my job. I'd handed in my notice 3 months earlier, decided to work till the end of the year, and I thought, right, I'm established, I know what I'm doing, it's time, I can do this. My husband had said, right, okay, well, if I can help you, I will, but I think you're going to be fine.
Great.
And everything was great until about 8 weeks later, and I had to start cancelling appointments to go and see clients and visit potential organisations that I might work with, because I was incredibly sick. And I thought, I'm just not shaking this bug, whatever it is. And as it turns out, I was pregnant. And so
yeah, that doesn't kind of go away.
No. So that was going to stay. It would transpire. That sickness would stay with me right the way through.
Some people get it badly, don't they?
Yes,
yeah, get it badly.
It was awful. It stayed with me right until Lily was born in September.
You should take your writing skills and say, if you knew what I've gone through.
I'm going to use it to punish her for the rest of her life. I am doing. Luckily though, you didn't want your clients to be the first people who found out. You want your family.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I'm late. Pregnant.
Exactly, but I had to tell one of my clients, and because I was sick in his garden.
Yeah. Oh right. And that's not normal.
It's not normal, and I just thought he's gonna think I'm hungover.
Yeah, it's not professional.
So it's not great. It really isn't great at all. My mum was delighted because, of course, she said, well, you do know you don't get maternity pay when you're running your own business. And I thought, yeah, thanks you, Mum. Mother.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
It's fabulous. But no, I did start telling my clients. They were amazing. They were great with me in terms of if I had to make last minute changes or if I had to go to appointments. And it just cemented to me really that I was in the right world because I was picking and choosing clients, and I was choosing them well because they were so supportive and they were absolutely fantastic. And I just thought if I'd have stayed in my job, I don't think my employer would have been quite as nice about things.
Which is amazing because most people think, in that employment, you've got that security, you've got that payment, you've got that certain thing, and actually, the way you've done it is it works out better.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was difficult because I knew as time went on, well, I could take on a big project and then she could arrive a month early or something like that. But everyone was fantastic with me. I don't think I lost any clients at all. But I would have completely understood, if they would have said, look, I've got a lot of work on, I need you to do it, I need you. I was at my best. It did affect my work, obviously, but I was still at my best. I still gave everything as good as I could. But I would have understood if they'd have said.
But I think if they're working with you, they'll understand that you were willing to do that.
Definitely.
So it's reciprocal. It's a relationship.
It is. And I think that's the case with any kind of freelancing. Yes, you want a good price. You want someone to do fantastic work, they've got good testimonials, everything like that. But ultimately, especially in something creative like writing, it has got to be that relationship because you're pouring out your heart, your message, your vision, your dreams for that person to then put it out there to the world. So if the relationship isn't right, then it's a waste of money. You know, even if they said they'd do it for free for you. So it's a complete waste of everyone's time. So yeah, I was very lucky that I was able to form those relationships, and it was great because it meant Lily got loads of extra presents when she arrived.
Oh, nice.
I had stuff coming in from clients. It was
brilliant!
Great.
They didn't have to get me all this. It's like, oh no, I didn't.